Happy Friday, everybody. What I really want on a Friday is to have the audio working right off the bat. I think we got it for the first time this week. I'm going to prove myself wrong. Somebody's going to be really upset here in a second when they see my mouth moving and nothing happening, but I'm going to assume that the audio is working. I can hear myself. Everything's great. All right, my name's Meteorologist Brad Maushart here in the Fox 19 Now First Alert Weather Streaming Center. It's a mouthful out there. We started off this morning a little chilly. It was pretty cold in a lot of spots. You can see behind me, though, a really nice day on tap. The wind not as breezy as it was yesterday. Still a little chilly out there with even those few clouds that are drifting on through. Here's a look at what we're dealing with this morning. Richmond, just outside of the area up there towards the I-70 corridor, as low as 36 degrees. Hamilton, the cold spot this morning, 38, 42 in Wilmington. At the airport, officially 42 degrees as well. So it was cold. We are going to see very similar temperatures outside tomorrow morning if you're going to be out and about early or even late tonight. We've got a lot of evening plans happening here across the tri-state. Make sure to grab the coat. You will definitely want that because it's going to be a little chilly out there for Reds Fireworks Friday tonight. Here's a look again. Cold, crisp start. We saw a lot of clear skies early on, a gorgeous sunrise, not even a cloud in the sky as you take a look at this back at downtown. Nice golden sunrise out there this morning with all that sun. Temperatures quickly warmed up, but as you can see, as temperatures start to warm up, you'll start to see these clouds bubble up across the screen as well. They're just fair weather clouds, these little cotton balls rolling on through. It's enough to filter some of the sunshine. It'll keep temperatures down today at manageable levels, 63 degrees. It's not uncomfortable if you're in the sun, but like I said, late tonight, or if you're going to be out for a long period of time rather than just, walking into a grocery store or, into a restaurant, you don't need the coat for that. But if you're going to be out for hours at a time, let's say a taste of Cincinnati or going down to the Reds game, especially once it starts to get shady when the sun goes down, below the stadium there, it's going to get chilly. So just be prepared for that. 63, the high temperature day will be dropping quickly. From these levels here, back down into the upper 50s, if not mid-50s by the time, the Reds game starts. 61 outside right now, 61 in Lunkett. Again, thickening clouds will keep temperatures kind of close to where they're at right now. Just a few degrees warmer. You can see the clouds thickening, even thicker cloud cover just up to the northwest there, and Muncie stretching back up to Chicago. That thick cloud cover arrives in our northernmost communities relatively soon. It's already starting to push into Fayette and Union County, so Butler County probably within the hour. More towards Hamilton County, Claremont, Brown counties as we work way into this afternoon. Again, it shows a little bit of rainfall in those up in northwestern Indiana. It's trying to have a few sprinkles, but the air is just too dry, too stable. We're not going to see anything significant out of this. Just some cloud cover, enough to be a nuisance, and that's just about it for the day. So don't cancel any of your plans. Just be aware, if you're going to be out, as I mentioned earlier, temperatures are going to drop off relatively quickly tonight. That first pitch temperature is going to be sitting right about where we're at now, low 60s outside. The Cubbies, the Malort Imbibers are going to be here in town for the three-game series here through the weekend. 6:40 first pitch. Remember, last week this time, we had to move this game up. Because of the severe weather threat across the Ohio Valley, and that's the day we had those strong tornadoes ripping through southern Kentucky. We had a confirmed tornado over in Ripley, Dearborn, Franklin County, stretch across 3 counties off to our west. We are not going to have any weather issues tonight, other than it just might be a little chilly by fireworks time. By the time those fireworks, and there's a drone show as well tonight over at Great American Ballpark, so big night on tap there. By the time that starts, low 50s probably, so again, extended periods of time outside in this kind of weather, especially when you got kind of used to the 80s. It's not a shorts night by any means. I'm sure there will be a couple people out there, but a jacket, maybe a coat, depending on your cold tolerance for that. This goes as the same, for Taste of Cincinnati plans, or if you're just going to be out and about this evening. The longer you're outside, I think it'll start to wear on you a bit. Temperatures early tomorrow morning, a little bit warmer thanks to a few more clouds outside tomorrow morning. That'll help to keep temperatures in the low to mid-40s in most spots as you head out the door for your Saturday. And then we'll rebound to 66 degrees. Sunshine's been a little bit hard to find here, it seems like, the last couple of weeks. We have an extended dry stretch starting today, running all the way through the weekend. There will be some clouds from time to time, but no wet weather, so you have plenty of opportunities. A lot of people have at least 3 days off. Some people maybe took the day off as well for the holiday. If you're going to be out and about, definitely not a pool weekend or a boating weekend necessarily. You can be on the boat, but not, jumping off it into the water. It's just going to be a little cool out there for the mornings. That water temperature not up just yet. But for the unofficial start of summer, not bad. Plenty of opportunities to get those outdoor chores taken care of before that rain pushes in again Tuesday. That's our next best chance for rainfall. That'll be Tuesday of this coming week. This will not be a record-breaking Memorial Day by any means. I took a look here, and thanks to the National Weather Service office up in Wilmington that made this a lot easier. We had some questions yesterday. We were trying to find some average temperatures, and I was doing it a weird roundabout way because it's hard when you have a holiday trying to find some historical records when the holiday is not always on the exact same day. Like Christmas is always going to be on the 25th of December and so on. It's harder when the day switches, when it's just the last Monday of May or something like that. So luckily they broke this down for me and it made it a lot easier. If we were going to have a record hot Memorial Day, we'd have to get up to 94 degrees. I think just about everybody watching on the stream here was probably not around when that record was set in 1874. Coldest, a little more recent, but still a pretty old record. Set back in 1947, 38. That was the coldest low temperature. And for Sunday morning, I have us at 46. So that's the closest thing we're going to get to breaking, but we're going to be well above that. So no issues there for Sunday morning either in terms of the cold. And, of course, the wettest, that might be one of Cincinnati's oldest records. Record-keeping started the year before in 1870 here in Cincinnati. So 1871 might be one of our oldest. I'd have to look that up, too. I'm not going to do it on the stream because that would take way too much time and me typing, and it would be really boring. But that might be one of our oldest standing records out there still, 1871, when we saw 1.8 inches of rainfall here on Memorial Day. So working our way ahead, here's what we're expecting this weekend. Saturday, again, a chilly morning, but some of those clouds you see there hanging on will help to keep us at least a little warmer than what we saw outside this morning. Clouds thicken through the day Sunday, and that's as close as we get to rainfall for the holiday weekend. I cannot rule out, per se, a stray shower trying to drift into Owen or Carroll counties, but most of us are going to stay dry outside. We're not going to see any rainfall there on Sunday. Monday, same deal. Thicker cloud cover filtering some of the sunshine. These are going to be high, thin clouds. It looks really overcast in this, but it has a hard time differentiating between different cloud levels. These are those high, thin clouds that just kind of filter that sunshine. And that's all ahead of the next best chance of rain, which dives in Tuesday. Tuesday, heavy rainfall possible south of the river. Everybody has a chance to see some rain Tuesday. Some dry time, too, and then it's just kind of an unsettled weather pattern from there on out. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Each of those days, you can see as I just keep on going through time, it's not a complete washout. Tuesday's the best chance of rain, and then it's just spotty stuff. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this coming week. And then it looks like we do try our best to dry back out in the next weekend. That's a long ways away, so a lot of stuff can change between now and then. But in that time span, several areas could pick up to an inch of rain. I think those totals get a little heftier after Tuesday's storm system into the end of the week, and by the time it's all said and done, like I said, some spots could pick up an inch. Slightly higher totals likely outside of the area. Temperature-wise, temperatures will start to slowly rebound here after we get past what is going to be an unseasonably cool weekend for us. The unofficial start of summer, not going to feel summer-like, as we've been saying, and it doesn't look like we're going to start to feel very summer-like into the first week of June either. The Climate Prediction Center, 8 to 14 days, so that's, kind of week number 2, essentially, 7-day plus the 7 days. Looking like we're still in that below normal range. Now, we're not well below normal, kind of where we're at right now, which is about 10 to 15 degrees below normal, but, we could still see some below normal temperatures. It's not to say we can't see temperatures at normal, then a couple days below in there, but still generally nothing above anyway. Normal or well above normal as we work our way into June. So if you like the free air conditioning we've been enjoying, it's been nice for the energy bills, I'm sure, for a lot of people. You just crack open the windows. Keep on enjoying it because eventually you know what's going to happen. We're going to get back into the mid-80s. It's going to be high humidity. There's going to be bugs everywhere. And you're going to regret ever hating when it was a little cooler out there for Memorial Day. So enjoy the cool down while it lasts. Why is this not going forward? Oh, boy. We almost had a really good show. It's because I didn't click on this. All right, let's try this. This will be your 7-day here over the next couple of days. I don't really anticipate we're going to stay on long today because there's not a lot to talk about, and you want to get out and enjoy a holiday weekend. And I'm just here to tell you that you don't really have anything to worry about. So it's all good news from me, surprisingly, until we hit next week. 66 Saturday. Reds are still in town Saturday and Sunday. No weather woes for those. Like I said, the later game could get a little chilly, but overall, nice weekend. Get out there and enjoy it. Some filtered sunshine for Memorial Day, those high, thin clouds. And that's ahead of the Tuesday rain chance. It'll be scattered. Not everybody sees it, but there will be better chances rain Tuesday than what we're going to see for those spotty chances Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Overall, unsettled again next work week. Some peaks of sunshine, but a good amount of cloud cover and rain, too. So we'll see if there's any Facebook comments. Do I dare? Do I dare? Okay, so everything's pretty good. First question, Alexandria Mullins. When will we get to the 80s? I didn't know that this phone rang. That is very exciting. I don't know why it's ringing, and I'm not going to pick it up. That had nothing to do with the question that just got asked. When will we get to the 80s? Maybe the person on the phone that's trying to call will have that answer for us. You can't see the phone. There's a red phone sitting just off the screen over here. I can't even drag it into the frame that I had no idea works. All right, when will we get to the 80s? So typically our high temperature, our normal high this time of the year, what we should typically be seeing is 76 degrees. You can see much of that forecast is still going to be below normal even through Friday. Friday's as close as we get to just normal. So that's that below normal stretch, and it looks like we're going to stay right around or just below normal as well from days 8 to 14. So starting on Saturday of next weekend, running all the way through next Thursday. So 80s do not appear to be in the forecast anytime soon. I looked at some longer range modeling earlier today. I'm going to see if maybe Steve has this. I know he has a graphic for that. Oh boy, this is what happens when you have only been at a station for about a month. You don't know exactly what graphics exist yet and what needs to be built. So give me a second as I dive into the box here to try to answer this question, because otherwise, like I said, no big weather woes out there. What do we got going on? Where is my extended outlook? Is this going to work? Maybe. I don't know. You could see a disaster on a live stream. Is it not going to load? It's not going to load for me. Let's see what else we got. I know he's got a temperature trend in here somewhere. Oh, if I was Steve, where would I have put that? Let's just search for it. That's probably an even better option. And it's a good question because, we have been running below normal. It's been tough to find anything, where we've been anywhere close to the 80s in the last couple of weeks, except for, last Friday. That's when we got back into the 80s the last time, and that's when we saw severe storms. So let's see. Searching is also a difficulty. Let's see, temperature, long-term temperatures. Oh, it's not going to happen, I don't think. That's 2 days. That's a long term. Yeah, I could sit here for a long time and try to find something, but I doubt I'm going to find exactly what I need. Just note that there are not many 80-degree temperatures in the next 14 days out. It's going to be a lot of 70s. There will be a lot of comfortable weather out there. I mean, enjoy it. Like I said, it's low energy bills. It's really a nice time. If you're looking for that summer heat, you're probably going to have to wait a little while, at least probably until mid-June. That would be the earliest things can kind of turn around. Not to say we can't have an 80-degree day, sneak it in, but generally the trend, at least for the next 14 days, looks to be around or below normal. So that's something to keep an eye on. Good afternoon, Cecile. That is all I have there. I don't think I have any comments on this. It is going to be one of those days where everybody's just a little bit quiet. Hopefully getting some weekend plans put together because it does look like a really nice stretch. Let me see if I can put these back in here. Where was that graphic for this? Obviously the cicadas are out and about. A lot of people have asked too on Facebook, is the cold that we're seeing going to have any effect on them? No. If they haven't come out yet and the soil temperature at 8 inches deep hasn't gotten to the right level yet, it might delay a few of them a few weeks. But a lot of the cicadas that are going to be out are already out right now, and the cold will have little to no effect on them. And not even that cold. We're not seeing any freezing cold temperatures. That might have a bigger effect, but 40s won't do anything. 67, filtered sunshine, Memorial Day, nice day for that. Hoping we continue to dry out from all this crazy rain. Yeah, we've seen quite a bit. Rainfall totals so far for the month of May, as we get towards the final week of May, we have 4.21 inches officially at the International Airport. Several areas around the tri-state have seen much more than that, but that's still a surplus for the International Airport, almost an inch for the month. We've seen 23.42 inches on the year, almost a 5-inch surplus, and it's a wet time of the year. Here's what's going to happen. We usually run a surplus this time of the year. And then by the time we hit July, August, things start to slow down a little bit. September is our driest month of the year. And that's typically when if we haven't done it by then, it usually flips and goes back to a deficit for a few months. And then November, December, things can pick back up. But So that surplus deficit, you got to kind of read into it a little bit. I think if we were running like a 10-inch surplus, that'd be a little different, like we did, was that 2018 we had all the heavy rain? So not too concerned. It has been a little wet. The farmers obviously need some dry time because it's getting close to planting time to get some of the plants out there if you haven't done it already. You just need some more solid ground for that rather than some soup. So hopefully we can get that there as we work our way through this holiday weekend. If the planting hasn't already occurred, as you can tell, I'm not a farmer, so that might have already happened. Hopefully they get some breaks in the rain for that. No cicadas in Westchester. The best part of our area, I did not break this down into a county level. I just kind of gave it this for the mass panic appeal for a cicada apocalypse. These are all the states in which could see some of the cicadas this year, but for our area, it's primarily going to be east of downtown. So east side, I've gotten a lot of photos in from Milford. I've got a lot of photos in from Loveland. The east side generally is where we're going to see those higher amounts. Claremont County, eastern Hamilton County, eastern Butler County, and points eastward through the rest of Ohio, Pennsylvania. Down to the south, other people were wondering why the cicadas were avoiding altogether South Carolina. It's because the only part of Georgia and North Carolina you're going to see these cicadas is right there where they both meet Tennessee, just south of Knoxville. So Charlotte, Savannah, none of those areas are going to see the cicadas. So this was it was a map. I'll just put it that way. It wasn't a bad map. It just was not a very detailed one on my part because I did not feel like going through hundreds of counties and picking out the ones that have the higher chances. So in our area, again, mostly east of town, some Kentucky areas, Mason County, I believe was on the list for brood 14 that's coming out right now. There are several broods of 17-year cicadas, so that's why people ask, like, it hasn't been 17 years. Well, it has for this brood. The one we had a couple of years ago that was particularly bad, I think that was like 2021 or 2 or somewhere in there, I forget. I'm not great with dates. But a couple of years back, we had the widespread event through downtown area, everywhere else around downtown. That brood will take another 15, 16 years to come back out. This one particular one is more of an eastern Cincinnati phenomena with brood 14. There are a few Indiana counties too, especially north of us, that will see some of those, but likely not going to see them too much. I think the Louisville area also had a chance to see some of brood 14. Cicadas are weird. So yeah, so if you have not seen them yet in your yard, I doubt you will see them with this brood because it has been warm enough now. The soil temperatures are warm enough and they should be coming out. And if they certainly don't come out this weekend, I doubt they're coming out at all because it's just going to be a little too warm outside. So cicadas, what else do we have? We had that updated tornado. I'll do one more thing here and talk about one more time that updated tornado because they updated this yesterday and it was after the stream. So let me talk about that. Last Friday, a week ago, we did have one confirmed tornado that was over in Ripley County. These are all the tornadoes we've seen so far this year. But this one in particular happened 1 week ago, and they did update this because they added one more point of damage in southern Franklin County. It's that little upside-down triangle there on the top of the screen there, just below the word updated. That was a roof of a barn that got ripped off in southern Franklin County. So nothing else really changed except they just extended the path length a little bit. So it was still an EF1 tornado at its max. They had wind damage, estimated 90 miles an hour. That was the green triangle. And I know it's really hard to see, so let me try to point that out. So there's there where we had the highest damage. That was in northeastern Ripley County. So that's what we're looking at right now. Sunman area down here. Penntown, that's where 46 meets 101. If you're familiar with the area, there's a four-way stop there, and then just not like a quarter mile or less up the road, it runs into I-74, and you have the interstate exit there. So this went right across pretty much that interstate exit. Its widest point was 250 yards, and then it moved across North County Road 1000 East. That was where that damage, that most intense damage occurred. And then this is that new point. So they extended this path about a quarter mile yesterday. I don't know if it was just newly found or they ran out of time the day before to try to get some of that in to check out that damage. But that was the one more point there just north of North County Line Road into southern Franklin County, west of St. Peter's Road. Barn was missing the roof there. So this does adjust the tornado count as well for just Franklin County. Everything else on this map is the same. In terms of total tornadoes, Warren County still has 4. That's still at the top of the list. Franklin County now up to 2 tornadoes on the year, and that's the only thing that changed. Ripley still at 3. Butler, Clinton still at 3. Numerous counties have still not seen tornadoes so far this year. Let's hope that stays the same. No severe weather chances the next 7 days. Looks to be a pretty good stretch ahead. So, with that said, get outside, enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, a 4-day stretch beginning today. Let me find that graphic. Whoa, where'd it go? For the holiday. Again, baseball, a little chilly tonight for baseball. Kind of almost like an opening day forecast, it seems like. Maybe not that cold, but definitely a jacket, maybe coat-worthy outside tonight. Rest of your Red Series, Saturday, Sunday, 60s. Sun and cloud mix, no big issues out there for the weekend. And then, of course, just some filtered sunshine there on Monday. Please take advantage of it. Get outside. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Thanks for tuning in. I'm meteorologist Brad Maushart. I'll be back at 3 and 4 o'clock. Steve will be back here online, here on Facebook, YouTube later on tonight. And we hope you have, I should say, that's not going to be Steve. It's going to be Aaron. Steve is off today. We are back out of the ratings period, so Steve gets his Fridays back. And so it'll be Aaron tonight with the streaming. So we'll see you there. Enjoy it. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.